welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Akil. What we've seen today is a little bit of a rebound back as far as the indices are concerned. But the Nifty, well, it hasn't exactly recovered the sharp drop that we saw last Saturday. For now, 0.5% gains for the Nifty, advancing by around 46 points. We have Asian Paints, Nestle, India, HUL and Britannia among the consumption names which are advancing, and also giving some support to the indices in moving higher. On the other hand, we have considerable weakness in Bharti Infratel. Yet another day, a weak trade for ITC, S Bank down, GAIL and TCS also looking at profit taking. On the broader markets, well, it's a 1:1 ratio for gainers to losers, but we do have some stocks which are seeing momentum now. So Max Financial Services, Escorts, Thyrocare Technologies, Deepak Nitrite is up also 9%. Godrej Properties, well, reacting to earnings, so strong earnings coming there as well. Birlasoft recovering all the losses that is seen off late in Dixon Technologies, well, moving from strength to strength. But on the losing end, we have KPR, Mills, Indiabulls Housing Finance, Piramal Enterprises, of course, ahead of its earnings tomorrow week, as is the case for something like a Gujarat Narmada or Rashtriya Chemicals. But let's get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts on the markets. Neeraj, what are you making of today's day?
Well, a bit of a bounce day today for sure. It'll be interesting to see how the world markets behave today, the US markets, etc., after the gash that we have had in China, and whether China has not a similar gash, but a gash continuing tomorrow as well. But the two or three very interesting things to monitor today, Agam. One, that the cash participation number was nearly 44,000 crores. Now, I'll be very interested in seeing both the FI and the DI number, because a lot of people would, believe that on a day post the day when the markets cracked quite a bit, did LIC come in and try and buy some of the stuff that was available? And there is a bit of a conspiracy there, give you the support, etc. The other bit would be that did some large foreigners take any advantage of this fall, which I believe may not have been the case, because both on Friday and Saturday we've seen some large outflows as well. So very interested in seeing both the DI and the FI number, and seeing some stock specific delivery numbers as well into key stocks. So that is part one. And part two, we did have the small cap still continue to bleed today. I mean, marginally in the red, the market breadth wasn't the most optimistic. So save for a off day in Friday, the last 5 days, we actually had a return wherein the large caps and quality names have outperformed the mid caps and the small caps.
Absolutely.
Let's see if it becomes a pattern.
Right, absolutely, Neeraj. But, an area of focus was some of these, stocks from the financial and insurance space. And once again, they continue to be at the fore. Yeah,
I mean, it bounced marginally at that. I think a lot of Max was a separate case in point, but the rest of the stocks did bounce up. Now, we spoke to a bunch of companies as well as analysts, and the extent of the impact on the VNB margins and VNB itself, and thereby on the EV, is very varied. Some people pegged the number for the listed space at 5% to 8% for the VNB, value of new business, and some notes and sales notes actually said 8 to 20% as well. So maybe the 8 to 20% notes, people did go out and short or sell the stocks in Saturday's session, but the others may have come and bought them in the session today as well. Difficult to see what the long-term impact will be for now. So maybe people will just play on the valuations and not necessarily growth for the time being.
Absolutely. Well, that's a very valid point, an important one there too, Neeraj. Thanks for that perspective out there. So, the value of new business, of course, is something that has been in focus as far as the insurance sector is concerned. But moving on to the consumption names. On one hand, we do have, the likes of Nestle and HUL continuing to make life highs. And on the other hand, we have something like an ITC, which is currently trending at a 52-week low. The reason here is the sharp drop that we saw on, exactly the reason why we saw it, weakened on Saturday as well. The new taxation regime, and we have not only seen an extremely high increase as far as the national calamity contingent duty is concerned. That is from 5 rupees in July of 2019 to as much as 735 in the highest category for every 1,000 sticks, is the reason why, there's been a little bit of a dampening of sentiment for ITC, currently trending at a 52-week low. The real question is, where does it stop? Where did this correction for ITC stop? Because if you actually look at the analyst ratings for now, you're looking at a 36% return potential from current market levels on ITC towards the upside. So clearly, the consensus thinks that it shouldn't can be trading at these levels, but the markets are giving you a completely different picture. And well, currently at below the mark, well below the mark of around 220 odd. We'll continue to get you an update on how ITC fares. And from there, let's move on to a handful of other stocks which are buzzing in trade, and I'm going to get Sharat Dubey to talk to us about that. Sharat.
Well, Agam, the first stock I would like to speak upon is Godrej Properties. It came out with a good set of numbers this time, and operationally, if you speak, the EBITDA did beat the estimates. Now, if you go through the numbers, the revenue rose by almost 13% to almost 383 crore rupees, and the net profit rose by 9.4%. But the EBITDA surprise was there. The EBITDA profit came in at almost 42.3 crores versus the EBITDA loss seen at almost 39 crore rupees in the last quarter of the last year. And the other income was the impact, which we saw, which rose by almost 49% to almost 135 crore rupees. Apart from this, if you see, the booking value was actually a dampener, which fell at almost 22% at almost 1190 crore rupees, and the area sales was also down by almost 44% at almost 1.6 million square feet. This entire quarter itself, the company launched just one project, the RK Studios project in Chembur itself. So that is something which is a matter of concern. But the debt levels did fall to almost 39%, and it's coming in at almost 1093 crore rupees. Today itself, the volumes are pretty high, and I would just like to point out the volumes today itself. The volumes are almost at a 6-month high today, and the volume was almost 5 times its 20-day average. That almost 11.42 crore shares were exchanged. So that is something which we'll be watching out for. And apart from that, of course, the company did launch 4 residential projects, 3 in the Mumbai metropolitan region and 1 in Bangalore, which is roughly to the tune of almost 12.7 million square feet. The next stock also is buzzing in the space is Amara Raja Batteries. The stock saw an uptick of almost 6% today itself, and it came out with a good set of numbers, with the revenues rising by almost 3.1% and the EBITDA also seeing a margin expansion of almost 130 basis points to 16.2% due to lower raw material costs. Now, if you see the segments, the replacement and the industrial segment did perform really well, and also the export to the Indian Ocean rim countries did perform really well. This comes in the times when there was a steep fall seen in the OEM and lower realization, but still there was a revenue growth of almost 3%. If you just pull in the chart today, we see itself, on the day of budget itself, the stock did, fall below the 50-day moving average mark. But today itself, it has reclaimed that portion, and it's trading above the 50-day moving average mark and closing at the day at almost 786 rupees per share. So definitely these two stocks were buzzing very positively in this space. Back to you, Agam.
Well, fair enough, Sharat. Thanks for getting us those updates. Amara Raja Batteries and Godrej Properties, among other stocks which were in focus today. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets. But there's lots more lineup. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.